The NFL really screwed up this Damar Hamlin situation, and they really didn't have to. But here's what happened. Obviously, we know Damar Hamlin got hurt early in the first quarter in the Bengals-Bills game, and the NFL put a stop to that game initially. And then they informed the teams that they had 5 minutes to warm up to resume play after Damar Hamlin had been removed on an ambulance from the field. Now, the teams basically said that they weren't going to do that, and eventually the NFL did the right thing and completely postponed the game. Now, there's some debate whether or not the NFL actually issued that 5-minute warning for them to resume play, but here's a video that kind of suggests that that might be the case that they did.
They'll have 5 minutes to warm up, and Troy, Lisa, as we said, they've been given 5 minutes to quote-unquote get ready to go back to playing. That's the word we get from the league and the word we get from down on the field, but nobody's moving. Then when we got the update that within 5 minutes these players were going to start playing football again, we saw Zach Taylor live walk across the field to Sean McDermott.
Now, if you're the NFL, that looks pretty bad, because how do you get it past that? Are you blaming Joe Buck? Are you blaming ESPN? Very unlikely that they just made that up on their own on the spot and mentioned it multiple times during the broadcast. So regardless, the NFL did what they thought was best and just outright canceled the game, which was an obvious huge mistake because that really screwed over the Bills and it really screwed over the Bengals, and it propelled the Chiefs up to the 1 seed that they did not deserve. So why did they cancel the game exactly when all this chaos ensued? Well, part of it might be because they were trying to look good in the eyes of the league, the eyes of the fans, all that sort of thing by being human first, player first, by saying we're canceling the game for Damar. And that sounds nice and all, but they might have other motives for that, as well as they might use that as leverage in future negotiations with the NFL Players Association. We don't know. The other part of this, obviously, as I mentioned, the Chiefs, who have already lost to the Bills, have already lost to the Bengals, are basically given the 1st seed. Now, they might be doing that because they might want to paint the Chiefs as villains to boost ratings for the rest of this playoffs and going forward. Similar to how basically everybody rooted against the Patriots dynasty when Brady was there, especially during the playoffs because they were, quote, the bad guys and it was easy to root against them. The NFL might be doing something similar by creating new bad guys in the Chiefs that people can root against, that they can use as a marketing ploy to boost ratings for these games, especially during these playoffs. But there's another option as to why they decided to cancel this game. And that might have been because they were punishing the Bills and the Bengals. Obviously, like we mentioned, it sure looks like the NFL did issue a 5-minute warning for them to resume play. But as we know, they did not. The teams decided they weren't going to resume that game at that moment. And so the NFL could be punishing them. The Bills' punishment was simple, stripping them of the 1 seed. They're in position for it. They beat the Bengals, which they were favored to do so. They take home the 1 seed. The Bengals, on the other hand, get it far worse. Had they beaten the Bills, the Bengals had a chance to get the 1 seed. That chance completely got stripped of them. Now they're 2 seed at best. They were crowned fake winners of the AFC North. And that's fake because if they lose to the Ravens in the last game of the season, then a coin flip decides who's going to be playing at home that week. But they're also going to have a first-place schedule next year where the Ravens are going to have a second-place schedule, and they're going to have a worse draft pick simply by winning the division. So in all, there was an easy solution to this mess, and that was simply finish the game. All you had to do was finish the game. And if you're asking, well, when could they have done that? Well, you had 2 options. You either push Week 18 back a week, or you push the playoffs back a week, and in that vacant week that you created, you finish this game. I propose that you push the playoffs back a week, and during this Week 19 of the season, if you will, you finish the Bills-Bengals game. It has huge ramifications on the top of the seeding of the AFC, and then on top of that, everybody gets a rest heading into the playoffs. But they'd rather go this other route where they're basically making up rules like little kids do in a pickup game in order to make this thing work. So that's my little rant I have for today on why the NFL just totally messed up this whole situation when they had an easy option in front of them. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I've got more videos coming out, new NFL theories and other videos on their way, so I'd really appreciate if you subscribe. So thank you for watching.